Hello everybody! The goal of this course is to reach a whole perspective of the work inspections we must follow in a construction process in order to get the quality in building. That's the content of the course, but today's topic is going to be focused in partitions on plasterboard walls. I would like to remind the diamond circle principles and adapt these principles to the construction stage. Plan, do, check, act. Mind about the planning and the project management before to build up the construction site. Then, during the checking of the activities, if we have any damage, we have to make the report to make a non-conformity report. This document will be joined with a corrective action or a preventive action that will be repair the failure or will be preventing the non-repetition of this damage in the future. Then it's time to go there the project details. In the project details, we have to clarify the specifications of the position of the partition and also the final weight of this plasterboard wall. Because we have to take care about the structure, the panels, and also the finishings we are going to cover the panels with. In the materials reception, we have to take care about the voluntary certifications and also the obligatory or mandatory ones. These obligatory certifications has to be following the specifications of the new construction products regulation, especially about the new certificates of the notified bodies that has to be joined the materials when they are coming into our work site. In the layout, we have to think about the stakeout of the structure we are going to use to fix and support our future panels. This substructure used to be made by aluminium profiles and has to be fixed in the bases where it is going to be held. The profiles also could be fixed in a brick wall in case we are going to make a second layer, but in other cases we have to do it just like a self-sufficient structure. This structure could be made by these aluminium profiles, but also could be joined with some wooden profiles that will help the structure and also will cut some isolation breaches. During the profile fixation, we have to take care about the maximum height between the both elements, the both floor or slabs we are going to have, and we are going to divide it in, and also the fixation of the profiles in where we are going to be careful about the distance in between each of them. Depending on the proportion of the wall, we have to make it in double with an extra structure or just mind about the distance in between of them. When the substructure is completely finished, it's time to start with the panels fixation. These panel fixation are directly made with a screw to the structure, and it's covering one of the both sides of our plasterboard wall. The panels will be covering all the surface, and then we will create one of the bases of our plasterboard. In this time, we can start running the building services, electricity, teleco, water, and so on, are going to run inside the camera we have in between the both panels of the plasterboard. In this picture, we can see the details where the electricity and teleco building services are running inside, and it's very easy to fix it inside because we have some holes in the profiles. Also, when we are running the building services, we can do it and just take care about the kind of panel we are using, because this panel has to be waterproof resistant. In another building services, we have to fix it and just take care and mount the final position where the pushing and all the bottoms are going to be placed. When all the building services are completely finished, it's time to start with the isolations. Also, isolation has to cover the whole surface of our plasterboard, especially in between the profiles, where we have to be careful about just to cut possible future acoustic and thermal breaches. The isolations can be made by rock wool, fiberglass, and a lot of materials in case to finally just prevent and just correct the demanding of our partition about the final acoustic and also the thermal isolation. Then it's time, when everything is finished, to cover our plasterboard wall. In this time, we are going to fix the inside panels, or the second layer of our panels. Once more, we can fix it directly to the profiles, and we are making this with a normal screw. During this second layer, we have to protect also some isolation. This extra acoustic or thermal isolation could be in between the sum of the layer of our panels. In this case, we can see in between this plasterboard panel, we are fixing just this membrane in order to protect and prevent the isolation. In between of them, there is a second layer who is creating a whole structure, a whole block that will finally respond and just will answer the demand of our plasterboard. In some cases, we are going to mix different kind of panels. In this picture, you can see right here where the first panel, we are using a wood panel. This is very, very good in isolation, especially in acoustic and also in thermal. But finally, we cover a second layer with a plasterboard that will give us the final appearance and the continuity in the finishings of our plasterboard wall. In some cases, we need an extra protection, like the fire protection in some areas in our building. In this case, the kind of panel we are using is completely different, and also we need 1, 2, 3, so many layers that we will finally create the completely block, the whole block and the whole surface that will be answer the demanding, in this case, of fire. In other cases, the acoustic is so extra, and also the proportion in between the width and the height of our partition needs an extra plasterboard layers. As you can see here, we have 2 substructures of profiles, wooden profiles, 3 layers of plasterboard and 3 layers of plasterboard in each of these sides. Finally, we have to check about some relevant inspection points. About external carpentry, where we have to fix and place our external windows, and also the areas where we are going to run some building services. Cases where we are going to place the final button and all the actions places where we are going to run and just making an on and off our building services. And of course, in the case we have simultaneous building services in both sides of our partition. In this case, we have to be completely careful the structure is resistant enough, and also we have the minimum layers of panels, special panels as a waterproof panels that will be self-sufficient and resistant enough for the wet areas where we are going to have some building services. Also, in case to have a lot of weight, a lot of load to carry out, we have to be sure this structure is self-sufficient and is stronger enough to support these both heatings. Also, in some relevant points, we have to check the positions where the building services, especially in wet areas, we are going to have some sanitary places, like some sanitaries and also all the apparatus we are going to have in a toilet. Time to lay out and just review, make the final checking of the joints in between of the panels. Not only the screw are going to fix the panel to the structure, also in between each panel we have to carry all the joints and just cover it with a very elastic cream. And also in the joints we have to cover all the places where the screw are fixing the panels, and just take care with this special mastic. We are going to fix and just cover all the positions where the screw are fixed. If all the joints are well fixed and are well covered, it's time to check it and just start with the painting, the final finishings that will cover our plasterboard panels. Thank you very much for your attention.